On this day in 2008, Blake Shelton went #1 by covering another #1 song by another coach from The Voice. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. On this day, July 28 in 2008, Blake Shelton was in the middle of a 2-week run at #1 with Home. He released his rendition of the Michael Bublé hit in February that year as the third and final single from his album Pure BS. Bublé released the song in 2005 and it went to #1 on the adult contemporary chart. On the surface, Shelton and Bublé don't have much in common. One is a country star from Oklahoma, the other is a singer-songwriter from Canada who blends pop with elements of jazz and other genres. However, the pair of lauded artists share more than just making Home a successful song. They were both coaches on The Voice. Unfortunately, they weren't on the show at the same time. Shelton was on the show for 23 seasons. He was one of the original coaches when it premiered in 2011. The country star vacated his big red chair after the end of season 23 in 2023. Bublé joined the show for the first time in season 26, which premiered the next year. He returned for season 27 and will be back later this year for season 28. Shelton, however, is unlikely to return to the show. The Voice coaches Blake Shelton and Michael Bublé get hits with Home. Michael Bublé co-wrote Home with Alan Chang and Amy Foster Gillies. He released it in January 2005 as the second single from his album It's Time. It was an international hit for Bublé, peaking at #1 on the adult contemporary charts in the United States and Canada. Additionally, it was a top 40 hit in the United Kingdom, Switzerland, Scotland, Austria, and Australia. The original version of Home was certified platinum in multiple countries, including the United States and Canada. Blake Shelton released his version of Home as the third and final single from Pure BS. The song topped the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart for 2 weeks. It became the #5 song of the year on the country chart. In 2012, Shelton and Bublé wrote a holiday version of the song. They recorded it as a duet for Shelton's album Cheers, It's Christmas. 17 years ago today, the world of country music witnessed a full-circle moment, one that would eventually set the stage for an epic dynamic on The Voice and bridge two powerhouse performers through a single song. On July 29, 2008, Blake Shelton reached #1 on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart with a cover of Home, a ballad that had already soared to the top spot years earlier, thanks to another Voice legend, Michael Bublé. Though Bublé's original version dominated the adult contemporary charts in 2005, it was Shelton's twangy, heart-tugging rendition that took the tune into the heart of the American South and into the DNA of country culture. Now, looking back in 2025, the story of Home is more than just a chart topper. It's a ballad of connection, contrast, and country reinvention that would ultimately become a symbol of camaraderie between artists who'd later sit side by side in The Voice's iconic red chairs. The song that came from far away and found a new home. Originally written by Michael Bublé, Alan Chang, and Amy Foster Gillies, Home was a love letter to the ache of distance and the quiet hope of return. With its wistful melody and poetic lyrics, the song struck a chord with anyone who'd ever longed to be somewhere, or with someone. Bublé's smooth, jazzy vocals turned it into a romantic anthem. When Blake Shelton heard it, though, he didn't just listen, he felt it. At the time, Shelton was navigating a turbulent personal life, including a very public divorce and the complexities of fame. The idea of home was not only metaphorical for him, it was an emotional compass he desperately needed to find. Shelton decided to reimagine the song, not merely replicate it, and that artistic gamble paid off, both critically and commercially. Blake's version, grit, gravel, and heart released as the lead single from his Pure BS Deluxe Edition, Shelton's Home was not just a cover, it was a translation. He infused it with steel guitar, acoustic flourishes, and that signature Oklahoma drawl. What had once been a smooth jazz pop lament became a dusty country road prayer. Critics lauded his ability to bridge genres while keeping the soul of the song intact. More importantly, country fans embraced it as if it were born in Nashville. When Blake sang Home, it wasn't about a tour or a time zone, It was about his roots, said former Warner Bros. Country executive Lacey Palmer. He turned a universal theme into a Southern truth. Shelton's Home climbed to the top of the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart on July 29, 2008, giving him his fourth #1 single at the time, and proving that cross-genre interpretations could still capture the heart of country music. A future voice connection. Destiny in reverse. Perhaps the most ironic twist in this musical tale is what happened 3 years later. In 2011, NBC launched The Voice, a reality competition show designed to spotlight raw talent with a unique twist: blind auditions. Blake Shelton was tapped as a founding coach, representing the country world with humor, grit, and unexpected tenderness. And who would eventually join him as a guest mentor and later a fellow coach? None other than Michael Bublé. In 2012, during The Voice Season 3, Bublé served as a team mentor for Blake Shelton himself, helping coach contestants in the very genre-bending space they had once navigated with the same song. Fans were stunned when the two artists embraced on camera, acknowledging their shared bond through Home. Shelton even quipped on air, "I still think I did your song better than you, bud." Bublé laughed and shot back, "You owe me royalties, cowboy." It was lighthearted, but beneath the banter was a deeply respectful musical bromance, born not just of talent but of mutual risk-taking and artistic trust. The song that won over Gwen, and more. Insiders close to The Voice say that Blake often referenced Home as one of the most important songs of his life, not just professionally, but personally. In fact, it reportedly played a role in his romance with another future voice coach, Gwen Stefani. During an interview on The Kelly Clarkson Show in 2020, Stefani revealed, "I remember hearing Blake sing Home way before I even joined The Voice. It was so tender. That version was stuck in my head for weeks. It's weird how music works, like it plants seeds you don't know are growing." Indeed, by the time Stefani joined The Voice as a coach in 2014, her chemistry with Blake was instant. While the couple's public love story would unfold years later, many fans now see Home as one of the first breadcrumbs that led Gwen and Blake toward each other, a song that softened hearts and subtly intertwined destinies. The power of a cover. Country's history of reinvention. Blake Shelton's #1 moment with Home in 2008 wasn't just a personal triumph, it was part of a larger tradition in country music, the power of reinterpretation. From Johnny Cash covering 9 Inch Nails' Hurt to Dolly Parton reworking Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You, country music has always held space for reinvention. Shelton's Home stood in that lineage proudly, not as mimicry, but as a respectful transformation. He showed the world that a good song could travel across genres and timelines and still find new life in another voice. In the years that followed, Shelton would continue this tradition, covering songs like God Gave Me You, originally by Christian artist Dave Barnes, and Footloose, Kenny Loggins' 1984 classic. But it was Home that became his artistic cornerstone, still resonating today. Fast forward to 2025, and Home remains a fan favorite in Shelton's live performances. At his most recent sold-out show in Tulsa, Oklahoma, fans lit up the stadium with phone flashlights as Blake crooned the opening lines, "Another summer day has come and gone away, in Paris and Rome, but I want to go home." The crowd erupted in applause before he even reached the chorus. In that moment, the years melted away, and the soul of the song echoed as loudly as it had in 2008. Music critics now look back at that release as a defining moment in Shelton's trajectory, a bold creative choice that cemented him as more than just a chart climber, but as a genre-shaping voice. A legacy between two gentlemen of music. Michael Bublé and Blake Shelton have since maintained a friendly rapport, often shouting each other out on social media. When Shelton left The Voice in 2023 after 23 seasons, Bublé posted on Instagram, "From covering my song to covering 500 seats with superstar talent, Blake, you made The Voice a home for music. Hats off, cowboy." And just last month, Bublé made a surprise appearance at a Nashville charity event, where he and Shelton shared the stage to perform Home together for the first time. The duet was raw, acoustic, and filled with brotherly harmony. They exchanged verses with warmth and familiarity, as if revisiting an old house with fresh eyes. It was not just nostalgia, it was reverence. The crowd wept. Some even called it the best live moment of 2025 thus far. Final thoughts. Home is where the song lives on. On this day in 2008, Blake Shelton made a bold decision. He took a jazz pop masterpiece and molded it with his voice, his pain, his country heart. He didn't just borrow a song, he inhabited it. And in doing so, he unknowingly paved the way for years of musical milestones, from The Voice to his romance with Gwen Stefani, from friendship with Michael Bublé to a permanent place in the pantheon of country greats. Now, 17 years later, Home remains more than a track. It's a bridge between genres, between lives, and between the past and present of two musicians who dared to cross each other's worlds. So here's to the memory of July 29th, 2008, when Blake Shelton didn't just go #1. He went home. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe to our American Idol YouTube channel for more updated news.